Welcome back. Today we are going to talk year-end review. So this one took me a little longer to do than I thought. So yeah, here is 2021 book wrap-up. Now, drum roll. I read 121 books. No, that's what Goodreads thought I did. I read 122 books. So I read 34,174 pages. I read an average of 10 books a month and an average of 2,848 pages a month, or 94 pages a day. That is a lot of pages a day. I read the most books I read in a month was 18, and the most pages I read was 4,341. So I keep a journal every year and keep these numbers. So my comparison to 2020, I read 17 more books. I read a total plus 6,944 pages total. My average books went up 1.42 per month, and my average pages went up 579 per month, or 19 per day. That's, when you think of it, that's quite a bit. My most books per month was the same, and my most pages per month went up by 654. So everything went up except for the most books per month, because 18 is quite a challenge. So the shortest book I read was 94 pages, We Are Warriors by Aboriginal Women's Life by Tina Haywood. It was just short stories. The longest book I read was 625 pages, and that was The Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. I gave 3 books this year 5-star ratings. I'm Watching You by Teresa Driscoll. That one I just loved the different point of views and perspectives, and it just kept me on edge the whole time. I had no idea what was going to happen. Yeah. American Dirt by Janine Cummins. That one I could not put down. Like, I was just so invested in the characters and so invested in their story. I just had to find out what happened to them. The last one was The One by John Myers. That one I read recently. That one also, I love just the different narrator style, like that they had different perspectives, and each chapter was from a different character, and they followed them, and then sometimes they would throw in they followed the few main characters, and then sometimes their lovers or their matches, that's the word. They would have the chapter for themselves. Just depended. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That one kept me on. So I picked 5 books for my least favorite. Rum Running by Alison Waller. That one I just couldn't get into the story. It just wasn't just didn't like the writing style. Invisible Victims, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women by Kathleen McCarthy. that was very informative. So if you're looking to know more about that, I would recommend it. But because I already know quite a bit about that, I found that most of the book I had known already, so that one kind of like, I didn't like that. And then, yeah, the writing style also wasn't my favorite. The next was Return from Tomorrow by George G. Ritchie. It's about a guy who goes to heaven, and yeah, just not my style. Again, might be for someone, wasn't for me. The fourth one, We Are Warriors, Aboriginal Women's Life by Tina Haywood. That one I found the writing style was a little scattered, so that's why that one's on there. I didn't like that it was so scattered. Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. That one, it was hard to put that on the list because I did like it, and I'm very easy on books, like but that one I just found really predictable, and that's why I gave it a little bit lower than it could have been. Yeah, so that one was at the bottom of my list for least favorite list. So it was close to not being, but I picked 5 because that was the most even number. And then I decided to do some graphs. I was just curious. So I read a lot of series this year, and so I put in the authors, like how many books I read for each of them, and Lizzie Hall, I read 51 books of hers. Shoosh! I did not realize that I had read that many until putting it down in writing. Yeah, so Misty Bain, so this one had Lindsay Hall. This one was just other, so like the ones that weren't series. Misty Bain had Susan E., Dan Brown, Serena Valentino, Jeanette Rallison, Lemony Snicket, and Shannon Mayer. So, yeah. And then I was on Chartgirl. Our author breakdown I was curious. I know I read a lot more females than males authors typically, so I was curious what it looked like in the graph. I read 78% were females. 21% were males, and then 1% they had co-authors, 1 male, 1 female, 1 book. And then I was also curious. I tried to read like a few like indigenous authors or Black authors, or in this case I did read a Chinese author. And just to just throwing them in there. I have a shelf on Goodreads for indigenous authors, and so sometimes I'll pick a few out once a month or so. And so I was curious how that related to my overall demographics. And so 90% were not listed or I didn't know. So that was 109 books. I guess I didn't really do, so if I read like both of these graphs, multiple authors, I put them in still for like 1 book, 1 time. I didn't do the whole author. So that might have changed the graphs, but yeah, so I read 2% of the books I read were from Black authors, 1% from Chinese authors, and 7% from Indigenous authors. So I would like to get that up next year to like about maybe 10 each, or like 10 from Black authors and 10 from Indigenous. Also throwing some more, I don't know, diversity. Try and get more diverse books. Yeah, I think that was my last slide. Yep. So, I hope you guys enjoyed 2021's recap or wrap up. Let me know if you enjoyed it by giving me a big thumbs up.